Hey guys, it's Liv Schreiber. Thank you so much for being here and welcome back to my page. Right now I'm tuning into you from New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey right now and doing all meetings virtually as we've been doing for a year, so not much has changed. Something I'm really grateful for is the ability to work from anywhere with a phone and a computer. So kudos to quarantine for that. Today I want to talk about New York and my thoughts and opinions on moving to the city at this time. I've been getting a lot of questions about moving to New York and I want to weigh the pros and cons with you. I moved to New York City 3 years ago and I graduated early from Wisconsin and I love it. I love the energy, I love the people, and nothing is like it. But right now, I think that the city is building up steam that it lost in quarantine. So here are the pros and cons of living in New York City. Number one, it is insanely expensive. For an apartment in Tribeca or in the West Village or Soho, expect to spend almost $2,000, if not more, on a tiny little box. A lot of kids, when they first move to the city from college, live in Murray Hill or in the Midtown area, and then as you get older, you make your way downtown for like the mid-20s in the West Village, Tribeca, Soho area. And then if you're gonna stay in New York City, most of the time kids who become parents move up either Midtown, Upper East Side, West Side. That's just my personal experience. I'm not sure if I plan on being in New York City forever because I definitely just recently fell in love with Miami. So let's get back to why you should or shouldn't move to New York City. So number one, it's really expensive. I advise having at least 3 months saved up of rent and of living costs before you move to the city. I also advise moving to New York City with at least a retail job or some way to support yourself. That's just because I'd like to be financially secure and stable and safe. So take that opinion as you may. Once you save up to be able to at least, afford a few months of rent and living, I advise you to find a roommate. I found my roommate through mutual friends. I always feel like finding a roommate through a mutual friend, even if it's like a friend in a Facebook group. Like I have the Zoom Fashion Week Facebook group. It has almost 500 girls. Go into the Zoom Fashion Week Facebook group or College Fashionista Facebook group or NYU FIT Facebook groups and ask if people need roommates and are looking. It's a really good place to, number one, find people of similar interests as you, but number two, find people who you may be able to trust as your roommate. I wouldn't bring any valuables to the city. I don't think it's necessary and you don't really need to show off. Some of the richest people in the city, don't really show off. It's not like Miami. I would say that the city is really fun, but it can be expensive. So the best things to do are like plan walks with your friends or go to Central Park, visit free exhibitions, and make fun for yourself. I personally love living on the West Side. I always will. That's because of the West Side Highway. I love running every morning, and building up a routine is really important when moving to the city. So back to the pros and cons, I think right now is the best time to move to New York City because the prices are low. The city's building its way back up. There's availability in housing, and because you have the ability to make your own routine and kind of get the pace of it in a slower manner versus kind of being thrown into like hectic, crazy energy as the city usually is. I do think that the city is going to come back to life, and I'm really excited for when it does. At the same time, though, I may take the winters off and go to Miami if this remote life continues. I don't think you're ever stuck. And I think there's potential to explore the world, but I definitely think I'll always have my home base in New York City, and I'm really grateful for that. So I'll continue to work hard and continue to be proud of being a fake New Yorker. They say once you're a New Yorker for 10 years, you can count yourself as a New Yorker. I'm almost hitting my 4-year mark, so I'm not exactly there yet. If you're looking for New York recs and recommendations, I'll make a part 2 to this. I love Philip Williams posters in Tribeca. I love my mom in Tribeca, and I love doing runs on the West Side Highway. So build up a routine and start networking before you get to the city if you plan on moving here. Drop a message below if you're in New York or you want to come to New York, and we'll start the networking right here, right now. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now.